So Raven really did it. Yesterday we talked about a change coming that had potential to be a big one for Warzone players, and right now, today's relatively seemingly minor update got a big addition to it, and we also got a little bit of a preview of what's to come further later on down the line to close out Season 1, making the end of season pretty exciting in terms of a playable offering if you ask me. Today we're breaking down the changes you'll be seeing in Warzone and Vanguard today with a weekly update, as well as everything you need to know outside of that, and also about that newest big change coming to Warzone, that loadout change. As we go along, let me know your thoughts down below. Do you like these changes? Think they're good? Maybe not so much. Whatever the case, drop it below. If you enjoyed the video, do me a favor, drop a like on the video. Doing both that and dropping a comment helps out the video greatly in the algorithm. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button to stay up to date with all things Warzone, Vanguard, Season 2 content, and to anything Call of Duty related. We get you covered here on the channel, so if you're interested, I'd love to have you in the community. But said, I'm going to start with this. For the last week or so, when we had zero idea of how Season 1 would end, we had absolutely no communication whatsoever, given what the extension would hold. It was kind of just a 2-week void. This week and the next just got a whole lot more exciting in my books. So let's start out with the biggest news here today, a Warzone change that we have all been asking for. Announced via blog post, tweet, and even teaser poking fun at FaZe Swag's announcement a few weeks back that he'd get a tattoo of Raven's logo on his cheek. We finally got that loadout revert to Warzone that has been highly requested since the launch of Caldera. Now, like we mentioned yesterday, this is partially correct in what we'd heard beforehand rumored by leakers. Right now, if you jump into Warzone, you can buy a loadout right off the rip. If you were to somehow drop in with $10,000 in cash, you could land right on a buy station and then get right to work with your match. So whether you get lucky out of a few chests and you have that $10,000 out of 15 seconds into the game, or it takes you a few minutes, doesn't matter. You don't have to wait that full 7 minutes we talked about as of yesterday for that first initial loadout event to happen and then it to be unlocked at the buy station. You can get it just right away. And that's for standard battle royale modes. So that's where the sort of asterisk comes into play. For Vanguard Royale, this is still seemingly the same way that it was, delayed and available after that first event. But it seems like Vanguard Royale is no longer being pushed as much, and standard BR is likely to be replacing that here as the more populated and more promoted mode going forward. So this is going to affect likely the larger population from here on out of Warzone players, and I'm all for that. I love the ability to get your loadout quick. Now, right now, I've seen reports of the cash also being nerfed within Warzone, so it's a bit harder to acquire 10K, but it's not listed in the patch notes, which, if we know Call of Duty, they love stealth nerfs, so I'm not saying that it's impossible for this to be the case, but I've also seen multiple people report that they haven't noticed the change. It very well could be locational, as in some areas may have gotten more noticeable nerfs, but if you land, say, peak every game where there's tons of loot because it's a hot area, you might not notice it. So either way, just be conscious that it could have changed, but as of recording, there's no certain answer, no definitive report on that just yet. But as for the loadout change itself, I'm quite liking it so far. To me, that's kind of what killed the pacing of Caldera, and for a long while, at least in the past 2 months or so here since Caldera launched, it's kind of why I enjoyed Rebirth more than Caldera. Even though it was a brand new map to explore, it was traditional battle royale where I could play with everything, it just didn't feel right. It felt like it was a much slower version compared to Verdansk, and now with this being a change, I can absolutely go and play aggressive however I want. I can get a loadout, take a vehicle, and just go play aggro. So very excited to jump in and see how this plays out now, seeing if it fixes out the pacing issues that I've personally had, but that is the big change here with Warzone right now. Outside of that, today we of course got our weekly update that we ended up getting for Vanguard and Warzone, as we normally do every single Thursday. Now, to start out on the Warzone side of things, this week we have our Battle Royale solos, duos, trios, and quads. No Battle Royale Vanguard variation here at this, though we do have Vanguard Plunder trios. We also have Rebirth Resurgence trios and quads on Rebirth Island, and Mini Royale duos. So a decent offering for Warzone as of this week, and again, being that we have the loadout change made to traditional Battle Royale, you're going to see it in all 4 solos, duos, trios, and quads modes. Now, jumping over to the Vanguard side of things, we got a playlist update, which we'll talk about here in just a second, as we do with every Thursday, but we also got a little bit in terms of an overall patch and some updates here for this. We ended up seeing some actual key adjustments here that may be of interest to you. For one, the Panzerfaust and the Wellgun in terms of weaponry was fixed out a little bit. The Panzerfaust has been modified to be more effective against spy planes and counter spy planes, meaning that having not tested this just yet, but in theory, it should be able to shoot down those spy planes and counter spy planes, which is huge for those going for camos and the 3 streaks in 1 game challenge. Going up and getting air quote like lucky, if you want to call it that, where your team is getting stomped enough where the other enemy team has to get guard dogs or dogs, that makes things severely dependent on your enemies. So this may actually help out your grind a lot more here in that regard. Splash damage has also been adjusted so that that now counts towards your long shot kills, so big there as well. And the Wellgun had some slight adjustments to 2 attachments, they didn't specify which, that caused it to overperform. We saw bundles of the Attack on Titan bundle and Enjoy the Retreat bundles fixed out. The Incendiary Grenade smoke has been reduced, so not as much sort of ambient smoke with that. And then also the Silent Plant option now works in private matches for Search and Destroy. That was a bug that was brought up in the comp scene as of a couple of days ago. That was promptly fixed, so those should be fixed out as well. But as for your playlist side of things, we have on this week's playlist update, Big Map Blitz, which if you guys are going for camos, absolutely jump into this. Get as much long shots as you can for things like your sniper rifles, your LMGs, your rifles maybe even. This is honestly the easiest place that I've had getting long shots. And of course, when I was doing all the stuff that required longer long shots like my snipers in my atomic grind, it wasn't around. So make sure you don't make that mistake that I did. Take advantage of this while you can. Make it something that is easier on yourself. But we also have the playlist of North Africa, Ship House 24/7, Zone Blitz on small maps, and Champion Hill duos and trios. So a decent offering here in terms of the playlist. You have a little bit of everything if you're a camo grinder. If you want to play different variations in game modes, you of course have a couple of different offerings there as well. So not bad for a Vanguard playlist overall. Now, next week's Vanguard playlist update hasn't been previewed just yet, but the Warzone side of things has been previewed already by Raven. They've been putting up on their Trello board the couple of weeks leading up to whenever the next update will be. And given that we have Season 2 right around the corner here, we do have the week of February 10th to the 13th. It's not a full week. That was previewed though. And why I mentioned also this is another thing that adds to the excitement of the end of Season 1 here is because we have Vanguard Resurgence quads, maybe not necessarily so much of an interest to you, but the big thing is that we have Battle Royale buyback, solos, duos, trios, and quads. I don't think that we've had this, if my memory serves me correctly, a buyback mode across all 4 of the main Battle Royale modes since Warzone launched. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. We usually see that only in solos, duos, trios, or quads, never in all 4, or if we have beforehand, in very limited quantities. So that's something that is absolutely huge. That is something you can drop in and buy your loadout literally immediately. You can land on a buy station and get going right away. So even though it's only available for 3 days here, it is going to be something that I am incredibly excited to jump into once that comes around for next week. Now, we also would see next week Plunder trios and Rebirth Resurgence trios and quads, but man, the end of Season 1 here just got a whole lot more exciting if you ask me, at least on the Warzone side of things. Vanguard still maybe a little bit quiet going into Season 2, but hopefully that means we have a big launch for Season 2 and the content coming to follow. But right now, that's where we're at here at this update and what we got this week. Some big and cool stuff if you ask me. So, but before we wrap everything up and round out this video, I want to take a second to let you guys know about my friends over at Gamer Advantage. We've talked about them before. They've recently, though, released their suppressor lenses, which is a new baseline for their blue light glasses. The suppressor lenses can help bridge that gap from the workflow functionality and vision protection, offering up to 4 hours of traditional protection. They still offer their flagship sleeper line, though, for those like myself that are on PC, looking at a TV or monitor, and even their phones for 8+ hours a day, working and everything like that. But now there's a mid-level entry for those looking to just get invested into the first step of vision health long-term. So to me, if you guys are at all interested, they're 100% worth it. Are they a bit more expensive than your $15 to $30 pair off Amazon? Sure, but when you're investing in your vision long-term and getting glasses that are head and shoulders above the competition, it is well worth it. They're the most comfortable, lightweight, and durable frames on the market, and when I wear my clear framed Horizons, I honestly forget that I have them on sometimes. Minimally invasive into your day-to-day, as all great tools for your health should be. Now, if you're interested in learning more or even picking up a pair for yourself, check out the link in the description below, and make sure if you do pick something up, use code Espresso for 10% off your entire order. That said, that's going to wrap the video up. I would love to get your thoughts and feedback down there in the comment section down below. What do you guys think of this update? Do you think it's something that is worthwhile? Good changes? Maybe not so much? Whatever the case, drop it down below. But if you enjoyed the video, do me a favor, drop a like on the video, and if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Warzone Vanguard Season 2 content here, as we are gearing up, getting closer and closer to what's going to be on offer with the seasonal launch as of February 14th. So if you're interested in any of that, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing. That said, thanks so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.